Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a great weekend. Today I have a squadron battle breakdown for you. I recorded this offline, it's organic, I'm solo queuing, so I'm not with Shadow Moses or anything, it's just me by myself. My name is Godric the Grafted, because I'm trying to stay under the radar right now. And have an organic experience, although I already think this name is expiring and I probably need a rename. This video is going to have a couple things. The squadron breakdown itself, before we get into it, I will also be going over my hardware and my reasoning for it, and then two, my ship loadout and my reasoning for running the kit that I run on the Hornet series. Yeah, so I think there'll be a bit of insight and some value there. Before we get started, make sure you guys like and comment the video. Give me a thumbs up, especially because it helps with the algo, yeah? And I appreciate you all. I think it has to be 6 words is what I get told. I don't know if I should believe this or not, but regardless. Also, while I'm at it, make sure you guys join the community and get into the personal Discord, which I'll have pinned at the top comment. Make sure you guys get in there and you can hang out. You know, we shoot the shit in there, so be nice to have everybody in there for sure. Yeah, make sure you're in there. Anyways, first off, before we get started, let's go over the hardware and my reasoning for all of this. So, number one, the mouse, okay? The reason I play with the mouse is because A, it's got a lot of fine control, and 2, I play a lot more than just Star Citizen. I plan to play a lot more games past Star Citizen and before it and during it, so I don't like to get too much muscle memory when it comes to my right hand on other control schemes. So I've just always been a mouse player in my right hand, yeah? Now the mouse I've gotten, and trust me when I say this guys, I've bought every mouse there probably is, okay, bar a few. And when it comes to these, I'm the happiest with the Razer Deathadder V3 Pro. The reason I've arrived at this mouse, and I've gone through the glorious series O and D, okay, I've gone through the super lights for the Logitech, I've gone through a Basilisk, the 302 I believe it's called, the large ergonomic Logitech, and the Razer series like the Viper and stuff like this. I arrived at the Deathadder because the Deathadder, in my opinion, has the best shape, yeah? It's ergonomic, which I think is like definitely the primary goal of a Star Citizen mouse. When it comes to flying a spaceship in Star Citizen, you're not flicking heads. You don't need to do 180 quick scopes or anything like that. It is about stability of aim. So I prioritize, in my opinion, the best common mouse on the market when it comes to just stability and ergonomics, and that is the Razer Deathadder. So the shape of it's really nice because it's got that unique shape. It's really great, and it captures the width of my palm, and I find it easy to just hold a stable grip and really fine control it, yeah? I prioritize the weight secondary to the ergonomics when it comes to the mouse. So an example being a Logitech Superlight will be lighter than a Deathadder, but because it is ambi and symmetrical, it feels too small in my palm, and I find it slips as I'm changing direction. This doesn't do that because it's a larger mouse and it's got the bulge at the top. It's just a really great grip that you can have a really stable aiming experience on, yeah? So Razer Deathadder V3 Pro is what I recommend 100%, yeah? Second, I have, for pedals, I have the VKB T-Rudder Mark IIs. I believe it's the Mark II, yeah, but the VKB T-Rudders. I've had these pedals for 6 years now, and I just couldn't recommend anything else. Like, be careful not to spend too much money on pedals because it's your feet, guys. You're not very accurate and artistic with your feet, yeah? It's the least important strafe or axis that you've got because you're giving its responsibility to your feet. So if anything, I think prioritize the quality of the product. And the T-Rudders can take a beating, mind you, yeah? I kick these things around a lot. And I've just been very happy with them. They're very sturdy, no issues, very happy with them, yeah? It's single axis, which is all I need, and I use my back strafe and forward strafe on kind of similar to a car in that aspect. Yeah, it just feels natural, feels good. If I could do it over again, I'd probably put roll on my pedals because I think it's nice to have your roll axis isolated to its own controller, because otherwise you might be accidentally rolling or accidentally adding input, and you won't have a need for large dead zones like I do currently. Next up, I have a Constellation Alpha, which is on the far left of the layout, the Prime. Yeah, it's got a great weight to it. It feels really ergonomic in my hand. The trigger's nice. It's a sturdy build. I haven't had any issues with it since I bought it, actually, and notoriously Virpil joysticks break quite often, but this one's been a really great ride. Yeah, it really feels like the materials they used is like of a higher quality, and the grip is just really great. Yeah, I use Monstertech as my mount as well. It's just reliable, I think. Yeah, and that's the loadout. Now, this last thing I want to add too, I've recently moved off of my Track IR Pro, my Track IR end clip. I've moved over to the Tobii. Now, for the longest while, if you caught me on my stream talking about it, I have been I'm not the biggest fan of Tobii in the past, mainly because there were so many bugs and issues with it in Star Citizen, but recently Yogi has gone ahead and fixed a lot of those. He looks after the head tracking software and stuff. He's gone ahead and fixed a lot of those settings, and I'll tell you guys why I've decided to finally move over to it. With Track IR, yes, you have less input lag, so it's more immediate when you do your head tracking, which isn't really a large requirement of Star Citizen. If someone's flying around you and you need to get a look at them, adding some milliseconds to delay that is not really consequential at all. It really isn't, never. You definitely notice a little bit of delay when you're turning your head and stuff like that, but just, again, not important, doesn't matter. Now, the reason I've moved over is because they've added this setting here. Center stabilization works far better now. So center stabilization, and I'll just show you guys how this looks in game, is it kind of adds a dead zone to your tracking. So I've maxed it to 100. As you can see, it's like, you know, it's based off whatever setting you have it is the size of the stabilization in the center or a dead zone. Now, when you're aiming under pressure, like you're in a sweaty fight, the last thing you want to do is be accidentally moving your head while you're trying to focus, because then you're having to aim with two different planes. One, your head, and then two, your right hand controlling pitch yaw to get the crosshair onto the pip. So like, you don't want to mix match different inputs trying to keep it stable and aim at a target. So you really want a dead zone in the center of your head tracking just to be able to isolate aiming when you need to. Head tracking's value isn't here, okay? It's not in these little micro movements, okay? It's here and here. It's finding targets that are coming around you and plotting your course accordingly, right? So say, you know, you're looking up and you're trying to pitch onto a target. This is when you want to use it to track your target, where they're going, where their engine trail is heading, and then what is the most efficient route to turn onto them. So this is where head tracking's useful and great. But when it comes to aiming at a target directly in front of you, we want the screen as stable as possible. So again, the Tobii settings have changed. You can customize these quite a lot. It's just in a really good place right now, yeah? And most importantly, Track IR comes with its downsides too. The Track IR has massive center stabilizing issues, so you constantly have to recenter using a key binding, which I would constantly need to press in a single squadron battle. I'd have to press it a few times. And also, you have to align the lights on the head tracker with the camera and aim the camera perfectly at you. And then if these three lights, for example, would overlap at all, then it would just throw the head tracking off. I've died so many times to Track IR Pro, guys, like because of the lights. I really can't recommend it as a product anymore. Too much issues, too much maintenance. Yes, the customization is far better, but no, Tobii is where it's at now, and I'm happy to say that. And there's no sponsorship. Yeah, I should have organized the sponsorship before it, but no, I'm really happy with the Tobii product, and it's just easy. It's not in the way. I don't have to worry about keeping it taped to my headset or anything. It's just in a really good place. So there's the hardware, guys. Any questions, just let me know in the comment what you think. You can throw in your own recommendations if you want, but that's what I believe to be the most competitive combination of all. Yeah? Anyways, moving on. So the Hornet. In case you've been living under a rock, the Mark II Hornet series, or the Hornets in general, are the absolute meta right now. Yeah? They are the king of PvP. And we don't like this. Reason we don't like this is because they are also a slower archetype, which means that the skill ceiling is actually quite low because the meta is to fly slower ships. So light fighters will get two-shot by this thing, and a lot of the other archetypes are very redundant in comparison to this. The more of these you have in your group, the scarier your group is, period. Yeah, it's just really the choice right now, and you guys should definitely own one if you don't. Yeah, it's also getting nerfed in the next patch. They're slowing it down, which I do not agree with, but that's for another video, which I think I will make. Now, let's go over the loadout. This, in case you guys didn't notice, I am not running the F7A Mark II. I'm running the F7C Mark II. So this is before the upgrade. You might be asking me, why am I doing that? I'm doing that because of the health on the turret. Yeah, at the moment, the turret health pool for the F7A Mark II upgraded turret on both the nose and on the roof have really low health pools. So the moment you lose shields, if they soak any damage, they immediately get disabled. Because of this bug, I have decided to use the F7C Mark II. This is fixed in 3.24, which means I will be moving back to it. Also, the F7C flies far more better in atmosphere. You don't get that feeling of falling out of the sky or where it pitches in yours by itself. It's just a far more stable ship in atmosphere. And it's just more reliable when it comes to these turrets, which is an exploit I like to, or which is a weakness I like to exploit on other F7As, yeah? So I use the F7C for that reason. I don't know many people that do, that have picked up on that. They just go the F7A and they either downgrade the turrets or they just deal with the consequences. But because that's a weakness of the F7A, I like to exploit it. Another thing you'll realize too is why am I using Omniskies and Tarantulas? I've got 2 Tarantulas, the rest is an Omnisky fit. Omniskies are just the harder hitting cannons, but most importantly, the most reliable cannons, which is what you need to prioritize with your loadouts. You want consistency over anything. You don't want the hardest hitting cannons. You don't want the fastest cannons. You want a good balance of consistency, stability, and then performance. Yeah, so Omniskies are king right now, probably will be for a while, although repeaters are getting buffed next patch. But Omniskies are just a really reliable weapon, yeah, when it comes to the weapon speed and then combined with the damage. Now Tarantulas have a similar weapon speed, and that's why I've picked them as my ballistic hardpoints. You can see all these shots line up together pretty well, and that's why. Now you might be asking me, why am I running the Tarantula ballistics on the roof of the F7C? I do this because ballistics aren't bad for 2 reasons. One, because I'm running those 2 Tarantulas on the roof, I get larger capacitor weapon magazines, so I got more shots in the magazine for the Omniskies, if you look up there, than you guys would have if you're running a full laser fit. 2, because of what I mentioned earlier, the F7A Mark II turrets have really low health pools. So there's a increased chance that I'm going to shoot off your turrets in a face-to-face fight. So I purposely try to target those with the Tarantula despite your shields not being up. And then also, a lot of the meta is also when people are running interceptors, as soon as players get low on their shields, they tend to run. This has been a thing for years. because I'm using ballistics and these ships are taking damage before their shields are going down, people can't gamble having a red engine and a Buccaneer against me, for example, because I could kill your engine or destroy that engine without your shield being up. So there's just some benefits to it. I think ultimately this is the meta. I just don't think many people have picked up on it. But I think allocating a small portion of your fit to ballistics with a similar weapon speed to unify your aiming experience, I think is ultimately what the developers probably want. And what I think is under the radar, but probably the most competitive. Yeah. So I think this is my fit. I will see this thing off until 324, and then you guys will see if I make any adjustments after that. That's what the meta is right now. It's Hornets. We don't like it. We want there to be way more depth to combat, and look out for a video of me complaining about the Hornet balancing decisions in the future. Well, there we go. We're at 50 minutes. We haven't even gotten to the squad battle, but let's get into it. Guys, let me know if you have any questions, any recommendations you think. Just talk to me in the comments, yeah, and let's get into this squadron battle. Okay, we're in the match. So the teams are established and it's kicking off time. So first thing I'm going to do is toggle my G-Safe to make sure that it is not in the way. You guys might need to keep on that if you haven't already. And you'll see the light go dim. And I'm also decoupled. Now I recognize players in the match on my team already. Hey guys, so I've just quickly paused the video there and I just want to show you guys a player lookup tool that we use in Shadow Moses. Don't think I'm breaking any OPSEC here, but this is just a trade bot tool. It's run by a friend of mine, Revere, great guy. And you can use it just to look up players in their organizations. It's good to do this in squadron battle when you're getting owned or someone's beating you pretty heavily, or if you feel like you're getting treated differently. Usually the answers are in here, and that's what I do, yeah. Now the reason I paused the video is because I have prior knowledge before the squadron battle that these players that I'm flying along wing with were in a group. So again, it's a real good thing to just get familiar with the players, you know, bounty targets that you might be tracking, pirates that are going after you, whatever it be. Information always helps, and so you can recognize patterns in players. So because I had prior information using this bot, I knew that the group I was flying wing with was in a org together. So I could expect that those players are always going to be calling out the same targets. They're going to be flying really close to that, and I need to adapt my strategy for it. If you want to know how to use the bot, it's on their webpage, yeah? But recommend installing this on your Discord. If you do, up to you, I don't mind. You could also just use the RSA website itself. Okay, so as I discussed, I'm aware that there's a small pre-made on my team. I can use that as a safety net. If I ever am in trouble and need to find reinforcements, I can expect those guys to be paired together. Good friends with the Ivy. I'm familiar with who that alt is, so I'm going to keep him in the back of my mind. See if I can keep an eye on him and likewise, but not in communication with him or anything. So one of their Hornets breaks, is in poor position and approaches our phalanx. We want to rush it down and create a number advantage. The Buccaneer comes in. It's a little late. Looks like I've got a good merge on him. I'm ready to boost if I need to. I'm just trying to rush his damage down. I'm really aiming for an engine, but I score the kill. With a Buccaneer, you want to wait till the last second and attack them only when they're close, because that's going to raise their guard and immediately get them to start running away. And if you can ambush them and sneak up on them, that's the way to kill them. So I'm going up against, I believe this guy's name's Linz. He's probably the biggest threat in the other team. I found a window where I can target him while he's going for another target. So I'm trying to be very greedy about this and establish a lead. He plays defensively. He's trying to break off away from my nose. He'll likely go for the nav here. I'm just trying to snipe off a shot because I've got him full red. No luck, he pulls out. I'd start doing some engine, so powder engine maintenance, just to get some pull for my boost, and I start making my way back to the fight. I want to beat him back to the fight so that we can build this snowball and build up some momentum. The fight's getting close. I start to slow down, start looking at how I'm going to approach merging this guy. I like to keep targets at 45 still, even though the meta's moved into pitch. I like to move my aiming experience into pitch once I get close. But you'll see I constantly put their pip at 2 o'clock just so I can reach it with both strafes as I want to. But as I get closer, then I'll rotate the ship 25 degrees to the right and put it at 12 o'clock. So here, you see, like, the closer I get, the more important that pitch becomes to me. Okay, again, I'm just very mindful of the radar. I'm making sure we defend the phalanx. We want to protect the snowball as much as we can. It's really about building momentum. If they are spread out and separated, then we have strength in numbers the entire time. So 2 targets of opportunity, the Buccaneer or the damaged Hornet. So I go for the damaged Hornet, which is Lynn's. I'm really aggressive with my boost pool here because I know I have the hull advantage, the health advantage. I flare off the missiles. I'm looking at radar. Here's a Buccaneer. He's planning to come back and do another pass for certain. My shields are low. Here he comes. Now he's going to be coming at me with a lot of speed and stuck in a tunnel. I want to merge along that tunnel. So I reverse as hard as I can, get him as many shots as I possibly can before he flies past. It's not enough, but I'm aggressively chasing him down with my boost because all I need to do is get one of those engines. One engine is red, but it isn't enough. Now, because his engine is red, he's going to play passively and defensively for the rest of the lobby unless he dies, which he does. But with a Buccaneer, taking out an engine is enough. So when you do get a window on a Buccaneer and it is vulnerable, try to make the most of it because they might not give you that window ever again. So had he survived, I think he would have played extremely defensive and passive and not been as nearly as effective. And that's why when you do get those chances with the Buck, take them. So we've lost dominance. Our snowball's in a small shape. We've only got a 3-on-3 here, so gotta have to play it carefully. I see Linz has picked out Ivy. I'm trying to play, because I know he's a great pilot, I'm trying to play as aggressive as possible and really stick close to him. So we score that kill. That's another splash, and there's another pilot, Seago, is pretty great. We're going for him. He's not aware of me yet, so I'm just trying to really punish him for that distance. And we managed to score that kill also. So again, I'm just thinking about my teammates here. I know they're under huge amounts of pressure with these 2 players, so I'm trying to rush them down as quick as I can. Playing defensive here, I've lost the snowball. I need to nav out, and I don't get it. Linz punishes me. We just lacked a little bit of awareness on the radar and immediately paid the price. So you have to be, your situational awareness is the most important it's ever been in master modes, that's for sure. Slip up and lose attention for a couple seconds and it can be extremely costly. So radar shows it's a 3-on-3, so I am immediately trying to get pressure down. Ivy's playing defensive. He's got 2 players after him. Kill opportunity. I've caught Rubber Ducky with his power off his shields. I'm trying to punish him for that. He masks his escape in the smoke cloud. We almost collide. Looking at radar. We're definitely struggling to form some momentum here, so we just need to get some kills and keep extremely mindful of the radar. There's a lot of threats on the board right now. I look to Ivy, see what his scenario is. He's doing alright. No one's targeting me yet, so I have a gank opportunity. I need to try and ambush someone. Rubber Ducky's the target. I've caught him out of powder shields, and we rushed his damage down. Lindell snags the wrench. Good play by him. I'm powder engines here, and I'm trying to stay out of his turn rate. Notice how I'm like trying to stay off the nose, but he's powder engines. This is great. Like, this is what higher combat looks like, and I could manage to use my boost and powder engines to just stay out of his kill zone there while the teammates helped. Losing momentum here. Also, the radar does not look forgiving at all. I'm lowering my speed and I'm getting inside this chaff. Recuperating my powder shields here. You see, I'm prioritizing shields. I've caught Major Boomer here without him trying to do some shield maintenance. This should have balanced the scales, and it did. Even though I was prior damaged, I used the chaff, played defensively in it, got enough shields, and then used that shield against him not having shields to win the 1v1. I know that people want to kill me because I'm red, no shield in the middle of the pack, so I pull out in nav. It's time for these guys to take some of the heat off me. Not too sure why we have a Cutlass Black in here, but we do. Our teammate collides with him. It's one way to get the kill. Okay, I'm looking at... Okay, so naturally I'm a red hull, which means I am a juicy kill target for someone. You can see people keep cycle targeting me. They're seeing if I'm going to re-enter the fight. I want to be the last one to join in on this, so... I'm looking to see if I can get a wrench to spawn, or if anyone creates a window which I repair. Otherwise, I want to be the last one into this fight. See if I can gank or ambush a target before I go down. I see a target breaking off, isolated from the pack. I'm going to see if I can go after it. Chasing him in nav. He drops out of nav. He's got me targeted, so we take the one-on-one. I dropped my nav early enough to get some shield. I've won the first pass. I'm now powered to shields. I'm okay with the slower weapon regen because I have stronger shields right now. And I'm just going to fight this out. Confident in the duel. I corkscrew, get off a significant amount of damage. I'm in quite the lead, so I'm not afraid to spend the boost because I have no targets trying to third party me or close on radar. I can be really aggressive about my boost tank there. So hoping for a wrench. I checked the corpse or the shipwreck for a wrench. Doesn't have one. We need to re-enter the fight. Up goes nav. Again, eyeing a wrench. I can't find one. See a buccaneer. Maybe I could kill him as he goes past. I cannot. Again, I'm just looking at my MFD, waiting for the beep noise that someone's targeted me. Trying to play safe. There's my wrench. Can I get it? I use as much boost as I need to score the wrench, and now we're in a good place. Immediately, I can play more aggressive. I don't have to play as defensive, and I can establish some pressure. We've got a nice snowball building up, so if you look at the radar, we're grouped up. I take the fight with Lens because I'm right in the middle of our snowball, so I can afford to tie him up if I can. He'll have to fight more than just me. We're desperately trying to fight each other for turn rate here. We're both powder engines. You just want to practice the basics. When it's the tougher fights, just play as simple Star Citizen as you can. Just stable aim, shoot at the pip. There's nothing special about it. Just don't get outturned. You'll be alright. Keep them in front of you. Again, so our snowball's looking really good. Probably a misplay on his half there. He should have waited for teammates or had come in with a larger group. Again, anyone that is caught out of position, I'm just punishing while keeping the phalanx, which is my group of players, in on my mind. Not trying to stray too far away from that. We've got a decent kill spread with 10 and 1. Winning the lobby, and our team's got a really good lead. Ivy goes down, but we've still got numbers. We still have a lot of momentum. Shout out to Betwetter. He's in our Discord actually. Good pilot. Managed to steal that kill. Buccaneer's banged up. It's got a red wing and a red engine, meaning it's one shot away from being rendered useless. Just gotta keep that in our mind. We're making pretty even trades, looking at the right score. And radar's looking very favorable. Linz is coming for revenge, but we close it out. And there you guys have it. So that wraps up the squadron battle. Look, Mastermode's got a long way to go. I hope you guys liked that video. I hope it gave you guys some insight. Let me know in the comments if it did. Helps me justify making these type of videos. I definitely enjoy actual content rather than just debating the development. So hopefully more of these to come. Guys, if you're not in the personal Discord, get in there, join the community, yeah? It's be great to type to you guys more often and stuff like that. Have channels where we can shoot the shit. With that being said, Mastermode's just got a long way to go. Like, the Hornet meta is really stale. A lot of the archetypes are really boring. Flight is not as important of a characteristic. It's got a long way to go, but the foundation is undoubtedly better. There's more kills in that squad battle than there would have been in 20 squad battles competitively in the last flight model. So it works, it just needs to be more enjoyable. And hopefully that's coming in the future, guys. I appreciate you, all right? Give me a like, subscribe, get in the damn comment section, get in the damn Discord. Fly safe or don't, I don't care. I'll catch you guys next time, yeah? Peace.